Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brandon, bringing you all of wrestling's news, notes, rumors, innuendos, and whatever else you can come up with. That is what we're here for, and my God, do we have a bunch to talk about. You take a freaking day off because you have life and everything, and then all of a sudden wrestling happens. Not to mention that, we have basketball still going on. Let's hope tonight's Sweet 16 games are better than last night's. If not, I don't know why I'll wait to watch SmackDown. We shall see how that works. But, it'll probably be another midnight SmackDown showing for me. And that's okay. That's okay. Speaking of which, decent night on SmackDown. I'm going to get to that later. Also, I do want to go over a couple of TNA results that we had from last night, just because we're getting closer to TNA Sacrifice, and then Retaliation is coming up right after that. So TNA has two very, very big events coming up, both in April. So we got a lot to go over with that. Not a ton of TNA because I really want to focus my stuff today on AEW. All right, it has been a day, and I have had a day to kind of sit back and think about. And I'm just going to tell you, I have thought pretty hard about AEW Dynamite. It was a good show. It had some really, really off stuff for me, but it's kind of like what I believe it was Raw last week, where there was just enough good stuff to kind of outweigh the bad stuff, and that's kind of how I'm looking at Dynamite from last night. Definitely in the running for Show of the Week. Let's go ahead and get that out. I'll go ahead and tell you, I scored it a B plus. Not bad, but it definitely had some down moments. So let's go home. First, let's start with just how we start the show. I will say this, and I don't know if I've said this on here before. I know I've said it to friends. I know I've said it to my wife, but like AEW, when you open with a Kenny Omega match, you are opening with pure energy. And I thought that another time Kenny's opening, and guys, it doesn't matter if it's a damn Kenny promo or for Kenny in the ring. I mean, AEW fans worship this man. Energy completely goes up. And by the way, rightfully so, worshiping this guy. Rightfully so, energy goes up. It's Kenny freaking Omega, but I thought starting with Kenny Omega was a really bright spot, especially because you didn't really know what you were getting out of this. We had a few matches on the card the card was stacked, but here again, sometimes when you have that visible stacked card, everything that you're going to get. It kind of can lead to some disappointment because maybe it's not going to quite build up to that potential. You knew we were getting Takeshita versus Briscoe. You knew we were getting Hobbs versus Mark Davis. You knew we were getting Fletcher versus Brody King. The freaking Don Callis family was busy last night, all except for the Murder Machines, which I'm going to get to that too. Here in a minute as I get through some other things moving forward. Turns out that looks like they may have some injury on the horizon for the Murder Machines. That's why we're seeing some different booking. I will get to that here in a minute. But I thought the energy was great. It's a very solid build. The match, the Vanilla Baby Blake Christian, I don't know. There's talent there, I guess. Young guy, still got still a little green, and you can tell that with some of his high flying stuff. And some of his high flying stuff is really good. If you've watched a lot of Ring of Honor, you're familiar with Blake Christian's work. But I want to say something. Number one, Kenny Omega looked great. It was inevitable, and honestly, maybe this wasn't as much of a squash match as it could have been. Maybe that was my problem with it, that I thought, why in the hell is this guy getting stuff in on Kenny Omega right now? This is Blake Christian. I really don't remember Macho Man Savage letting the Brooklyn Brawler get stuff in on him. You think about that. I don't really remember, let's just call it what it is, Special Delivery Jones. I don't remember Special Delivery Jones really getting one over on Jake the Snake Roberts. What I remember is Jake kicking his ass, putting a snake on him, making him throw up. All right? By the way, the snake's name is Damien. So, the Blake Christian thing was weird to me. Also, I want to be very clear. One other thing I want to talk about Blake Christian. I can't believe I've already dedicated 3 minutes to Blake Christian. But, all right, that's the grossest fucking thing I have ever seen in professional wrestling. All right. And now, again, I know that it's a subjective. I get it. But this dude takes his hand, sticks it down his pants. I'm not doing that, but sticks it down, or am I? Sticks it down his pants, brings it out, and then proceeds to lick his hand that he just had on his nuts. Now, what are we doing? Everybody's got to have a thing, and I got that. And you want to be gross, okay, I got that. But you just you're sweating. You're in the middle of a match. You're wrestling Kenny Omega. Like you're not too clean. Like you're probably a little ripe, and then you're gonna like, and he liked it. Like he's like and was so excited for it. And I love Taz said it's actually pretty gross, and it was Gross Out Jones. It really was. I don't understand what. Oh, wrestling can be so weird sometimes. So if somebody wants to explain to me the Blake Christian hand on nuts then licking hand, I'm all ears. Tell me why that was good, because it was not good, and I will tell you it was not good, and I cannot believe that I witnessed it on television. So somebody needs to ground Blake Christian, like ground him for a week, tell him he can't use his phone, he can't play his games, and just he needs to think about what he did. Think about your actions for a week, Blake Christian, because you stuck your hand on your balls and then you licked your fingers. I don't give a damn who you are. That's gross. So there we go. Moving on from that part of the match, the post-match shit was great. Speedball comes down. By the way, Speedball's song and the entrance is so perfectly Speedball. Like, I love it. I don't know if I like the color, which is, I know I'm nitpicking, and that's such a psychopath thing for me to say. But, like, the way the entrance is, the way it pops, the music, it's very like superhero-ish, and that's in that vein of Speedball Mike Bailey. But his stuff was good, man. His back and forth with Kenny Omega, little promo back and forth was really good. Tells about his respect. I have nothing but respect for Kenny Omega. Thank you. I wouldn't be where I am without Kenny Omega. However, come Dynasty, I'm going to kick your head off your shoulders. Freaking fantastic. Like, it doesn't take much sometimes for something just to hit. And the way he said that, and then the way that there was a pause, Kenny's facial reaction, like, it all really worked. Then it got better because you get the interruption on the screen, and it's Ricochet. And I have been very, very clear about the fact that I am digging this heel work Ricochet is doing, this chicken shit heel that he is playing. Ha ha! Like, it is so freaking good. I really, really like it. And I don't like Ricochet. Like, that's the crazy thing. I'm not a Ricochet guy. But his heel work is out fucking standing right now. But the best part about Ricochet's part in this whole promo three-way battle that we were doing was he was very, very open with the fact that he was in his jacket, in his clothes, getting ready for his wedding. Now, later on down the night in social media, you saw pictures from post, I think it was post, I didn't see any during, but post wedding, still at the ceremony, mind you, and Ricochet literally is in the clothes that he did that promo with. And that is fucking genius. Like, so simple. So, like, all right, I'm going to take care of what I'm taking care of today, which is marrying my future wife, marrying the great Samantha Irvin, by the way. I'm going to do that today. And then after that, you got my attention and I'm going to kick your ass. Ha ha. Like, that was fucking awesome. Not to mention the fact that the jacket was smooth. But yeah, I really, really liked this piece. I thought it led to a lot. I thought that it made me want this match quicker. Like, I have to wait till next weekend to watch this match. Like, Dynasty's coming up on, I believe it's the 6th. But so it's going to be here really fast. And then I'm going to be exhausted because this match is going to be so fucking fast. It's going to be so good. If you are a fan of the acrobatic style, but can also have some hard-hitting acrobats in it, this is the match for you. And I'll say, I'm not a huge fan of this throwing triple threats and throwing fatal four-ways together. I actually have some issues with freaking WWE doing that right now. Although the one that we're going to talk about later, I'm not. I'm good with that. But, like, sometimes the triple threat, I think I said this last week, sometimes the triple threat just is perfection. And I have a feeling that this one here is going to be very, very special. Honestly, I'll go ahead and say, if it's not match of the week, after it's over with, I'll be very, very surprised. So, gonna be good, gonna be fun, and I have spent probably way too much time talking about it. But that's what we do. That's what we do. And I end up shortchanging other people, but that's all right. So, speaking of not shortchanging, I don't want to shortchange Chris Jericho. He had a backstage piece shortly after the Kenny Omega stuff, and basically he was there to go off on Big Bill and the Bad Apple Brian Keith. Like, you could see it in the very beginning of the promo. Like the camera is on Jericho and you had that evil Jericho look in his eyes. Like it really, really looked good. And Jericho railed them. You could almost see a little frustration, more so in Brian Keith than Big Bill, which I found interesting because you would think it would be Big Bill that was like, "Hey, wait, what the hell, man? I'm your freaking guy. I'm your heater. You're gonna talk." But I thought it really worked. And what come from it later on with Big Bill and Brian Keith making a challenge for a tag team gold actually worked a little bit better. But it was pretty good. But the other thing that it set up here was for Dynasty, which is Jericho versus Bandito for the Ring of Honor title. Now, but it's more than a Ring of Honor title. If you guys remember, I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before, I had the conversation about how I don't enjoy every time someone is in with a luchador, they try to take their mask off. You have to let that be special. Then I'll be damned if the very next night Jericho doesn't freaking take the mask off of Gravity, who is Bandito's brother. Now, with that said, it led to the story. So it's not like he just took a mask off and that was it. It wasn't like it was friggin' Bobby Lashley taking on Commander for nothing but a squash match and then he strips his mask off. Like, that's stupid. And that's what we see happen a lot. This one here, at first I was a little leery of it, but now I see where the story's going. All right. And the fact that it's going to be Bandito versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor title at Dynasty. And not only is the Ring of Honor title on the line, but it's a mask versus title match, right? So Bandito loses, Jericho gets his mask. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling we're going to be getting a new Ring of Honor champion after that. But you know what? If anybody's going to freaking take someone's mask right now and humiliate them in front of everyone, it should be Chris Jericho. Let's just give it to the Ocho, the Nueve, I should say, Le Lion, and let him go to work here. Let him take the mask and dominate. What are you going to do? But I like the piece because it led to a story. And you know what? Mask versus title works. It's old school. It works. I actually really like it. It's a good gimmick match. And for Jericho, being an old school wrestler, it just, I don't know, nostalgia. So I'm good with it. And I know Jericho has wrestled in some mask matches before. I mean, he was in CMLL and in Mexico for such a long time. Like, he has a history there. But he also has a very big history back in the old WCW days with the cruiserweights, and we saw a ton of masked wrestlers there. Like, obviously, Rey Mysterio Jr. was there. Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Juventud Guerrero, all of these really good masked wrestlers. I know there's a bunch more, but Juice and Thunder Liger. Gotta mention that one. But like, I'm sure Jericho has had many mask matches, and this is just leading more into his history, which thank you for it. After that, it was kind of interesting. We got MJF comes out for his promo, and the whole thing is he in? Is he out of the Hurt Syndicate? You know, he had the meeting with MVP, kind of meeting, took the business card. They kind of had this little back and forth, whatever. Well, now MJF, he calls MVP out, and he says he's in. He's in. Or is he? That's what it comes down to here, because out comes Bobby Lashley. You could tell when Lashley and Benjamin were coming down that they were not happy campers right now with MVP. You could tell that like there was an issue there, and they build on this as it goes on. Basically, MJF comes, he's going to shake Lashley's hand. Lashley says, "Give me the card." And what he does, he takes the card, he rips up the card, and voices his opinion. Says, "I don't want this dude." And MJF is kind of left like, what the hell? What's going on with this? I don't understand. And I liked it. I thought it was a good piece. Hell, we even saw some personality out of Bobby Lashley. How about that? I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, it was kind of vanilla, but still, and you guys, I'm pretty obvious how I feel about Bobby Lashley. But I mean, the guy can go. I get all that, and he's such a freaking legit tough guy. Just the character has never worked for me. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the quiet guy without a Weasley manager. Like, that's what I want. I want the quiet guy that talk. Give me King Kong Bundy with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Like, give me that. That's what I need. Bundy could talk a little, but not much. But I thought this was good. Lastly, just says, fuck no. I'm not dealing with this dude. I don't trust him. Later on, we see them backstage. MVP's like, what the hell? And then he brought something up that I thought was good. Because Bobby Lashley said, you drove us out of here to do some business on your own. You went into business for yourself. And he says, no, MVP that is, says, no, you guys needed the vacation. You deserve the vacation, but I'm always working. And you know what? It worked for me there. But here's my question. Are they already going to break up the Hurt Syndicate? Like, is that what it can't be? You can't already be having issues. Number one, they got the tag belts, and I mean, I don't like that, but it is what it is. We're dealing with it. But like, I just don't understand. We have a faction. They're over. Like they're over. Listen to the fucking crowd, man. We hurt people. We hurt people. Like it's working right now, and you're putting something in the middle of it. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. The only way it makes sense to me is at the end of this, they beat the hell out of MJF. That could make sense to me. But again, as I do always, I want to see where the story goes. I want to see how it develops and go from there. I just have a sneaking suspicion that this is not going to be very good. Um, and I have another sneaking suspicion that here we go, seeing MJF not being in the spotlight again. And man, he's the outside of Tony Storm and Kenny Omega, there's no one bigger than MJF in AEW. Period. And I'm sure that I'm skipping people, but it ain't Moxley right now. Swerve, yeah, probably Swerve. But other than that, who we got? And I know he's a heel. I get all that, but he's still so over. So I don't know. It just this whole story doesn't make sense to me. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. We shall see, as they say. We had Kyle Fletcher over Brody King. Okay. I didn't like it. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a good match, but damn, what does Brody King have to do to freaking get some positivity? Like seriously, I said yesterday, I don't remember whose post I responded to on the Facebook machine yesterday. It might have been FTR. It might have been Cruising with Kayfabe. Regardless, though, I made this point. Like he's the fucking monster of monsters, yet you continue to book him to lose. That is the part I don't understand. Now, again, the match itself was really good. The finish was outstanding. All right, having him give that brainbuster onto the turnbuckle against that big ass Brody King, like that is so good. And again, they had to work it a little bit, and we knew that he wasn't going to lift him up like he does freaking Will Ospreay. I mean, he's a monster. But even with them working it, it worked. Like it was so good. The finish was great. But yeah, I don't know why. What the fuck has Brody King done? Like, I feel like every week he's booked to lose, and here you have this guy. To me, he's the biggest monster in AEW, especially seeing them live. I can say this: seeing them live, Powerhouse Hobbs, gigantic. Big Bill is so freaking impressive, but I was so taken aback with his size. Like, Brody King is a monster, and he can move a little bit. Like I don't know, this whole thing just didn't work for me. Not to say that it wasn't a great match. Like he didn't lose a lot there because Kyle Fletcher is so freaking old. He's the future of the company. They've been very clear about that. So you got a guy with a rocket strapped to his ass, and then the other guy just he's got lead strapped to his ass apparently because he's going nowhere. I don't know. I just want more out of it. Again, the match was good. I'm not complaining about the match. The match was good, but the placement of Brody King just doesn't freaking work for me. Right? The I will say the best part outside of the brainbuster onto the turnbuckle, the best part of this match was the sign in the crowd that says that Kyle Fletcher should play Spike in the live action Toy Story movie. And it had like the side by side of Spike from Toy Story and then Kyle Fletcher. And I got to say, I won't be able to unsee that. Now, for maybe the rest of my days, Kyle Fletcher will forever be Spike. And AEW crowds, if you don't start doing Spike chants, I am going to be so freaking pissed off. Like, this is an opportunity for gold right here. So let's keep rolling with it. Match was good. Fletcher goes over, blah, blah, blah. Next match, we had my main man, Powerhouse Hobbs. He goes over Mark Davis. And even though I'm a huge Hobbs guy, this was not super. This was not super. Davis last week in that three-way match for the number one contendership for Omega's belt, Davis was the best I had ever seen him. Like, that was such a good match. He was such a big part of it. He made so many great things happen. And then I thought last night it was basically a powerhouse Hobbs squash match. Davis got in a little bit of offense, but very little. And again, I'm a Hobbs guy. I want Hobbs going forward. And I think they're getting ready for a Hobbs push. So please do that. But did this match have to run that way? I'm not saying that Hobbs shouldn't beat Mark Davis. I'm not. Couldn't drew a blank there for a second. I'm not saying he shouldn't beat him. Like, he should, obviously. But Mark Davis is being billed as this heater for the Callis family, and like, I don't know. Like, he comes off of such a great match. The internet's been bragging about him. Like, he's got so much positivity going, and then he comes out and loses in 5 minutes to Hobbs. Like, it just didn't work. Now, my question is, now what? Now where do we go? Where does Hobbs go? All right, because there's no push there with him. He's getting pushed. You can tell by the many wins that he's got in a row. But Hobbs has got the wins, that Brody King has got the losses. But regardless, like, did Davis deserve that? Did Hobbs need more of a direction? Like, I just don't know. I have a feeling that Hobbs is going to get into some title picture stuff coming up really soon. I just don't know where. I don't know how. I actually would like to see Hobbs versus Okada. I don't know. That to me is appealing. The Okada versus Brody King stuff that they did, was at Revolution, I think. Yeah, at Revolution. Like, if that could be even better with Hobbs. So I don't know, just throwing a little fantasy booking out there for you guys. What else do we have? Nick Wayne backstage. We're getting ready to see a split of the patriarchy. Really like that. The best part of it probably was Kip Sabian's reaction. Like, what the fuck? I really enjoyed that. Mama Wayne walking off with her son, like that. That's good. Now my question is, where's Luchasaurus? Bring back Luchasaurus. But I have a feeling we're getting ready to see some Nick Wayne Christian stuff, and that might not be bad. All right. Rated FTR's interview. That's what they pushed so big. That was like going to be the highlight of this show. It was not. Didn't really get a whole lot out of it. They're going to challenge for a trios belt, I guess, coming up, which I'm good with. I think that's awesome. Let's get those belts off the Death Riders. But we're looking at a Dax heel turn right here, guys. I mean, it's clear as day. Or are we looking at an Edge Cash heel turn? Think about that for a minute. Just play it for a second and kind of wrap that around your brain. But overall, it might be fun. Like, if they break up, that might be fun. A trios run at this point will be weird because of the fact that it shows such a sign of a split. Like, I don't know, you're going to overcome some adversity of a split. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but it could be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I was expecting more. It wasn't bad. I was expecting more. Hangman officially declares for the Owen Hart tournament. Oh my God, this is loaded. Okay, Swerve yells at Hangman again. Imagine that. And that brings us to Swerve's promo. He calls Mox out and he punks him out like a bitch. All right, bottom line, punked him out like a bitch. And Mox, I don't. The promo was lost on me, man. Mox is sitting there talking about everything that Swerve is, and basically it's what Mox used to be. Like, you're describing yourself, dude. Not this you, but you are describing who you used to be. And Swerve called his ass out on it, man. He did. It was so freaking good. Like, the whole thing actually worked. Swerve made him look bad. And now again, Mox lets that happen, like he allows that to happen. But at the same time, it's like, Swerve might take this belt. Please, Swerve, take this belt. I just got an email from DDP Yoga that always makes me happy. But like, take the belt off of him. Let's go in a different direction. Not Hangman. All right, but let's go in a different direction. Moxley needs to freshen up, and let's just call it what it is. This run has not worked. It has not worked. It's had some ups. It's had some downs, but for the most part, it's had some downs, right? And I thought it's brought down the others too, especially Claudio. But yeah, I thought the stuff was good. I love the line where he said he played John Moxley. Like, Swerve looks at Moxley and said, "Quit playing John Moxley on TV. Like, you continue to play John Moxley on TV, I'll be real." That's what he said, and I just that cut that really cut deep. The whole thing worked. The whole thing just worked. It made me want this match even more. But I think I want this match so much right now because I want Moxley to lose that title. Now, maybe that's the story we're going with. We're going to piss everybody off so bad that once Moxley does lose the title, everybody's going to be so happy, and we're going to be pissing smiley faces. Like, okay, if that's where we're going, that's where we're going. But this here, I don't know. Just give me Swerve with the belt back. That's all I need. Give me Swerve with the belt back, please, and thank you. I need to. Oh, also Willow helping out, setting up Willow versus Marina Shafir. Thank you. It's about damn time. All right, this has been needed. Also, I kind of enjoy the Willow Swerve combo. Like that. That works for me. That really works for me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Also, if Swerve doesn't win this belt, does he enter the Owen Hart tournament too? Switchblade, uh, MJF. Who else we got? Jeff Jarrett's going to be in it, I'm sure. You know, we got Jay White's going to be in it. Like this tournament right now is stacked. Will Ospreay is in it. Damn, I can't even think of friggin' him. He's the headliner. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Now, Top Flight, they had a squash match, and then basically we had Takeshita and Briscoe going at it. It might have been match of the night. It was such a good match. There's nothing lost or nothing gained. I did like the line that Don Callis gave, where he said Takeshita is the best rope to rope wrestler in the business right now. Fuck, he might be right. Like he might be right. Takeshita looks so damn good. He's so strong. Um, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I'm not sure. How about throw this in there? How about Takeshita in the Owen Hart tournament as well? Throwing it out there. Remember, the winner of the Owen Hart tournament gets the title shot at All In. So in Texas. So we shall see. By the way, MJF threw the first pitch out at opening day for the Rangers yesterday, and then totally talked shit about the Rangers afterwards. I love that. It was so awesome. So yeah, moving on, guys. The main event. I'm running out of time here, but because I spent so much time talking about Blake Christian's finger ass, I guess. But Megan Bain gets the pin on Tony Storm. It was Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. I was so excited for that. I'm so glad for it. Against Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford might as well have just set crisscross applesauce on the side of the ring and not worried about anything because why were you there? This was basically a handicap match. But I do want to say if there's a better catchphrase in professional wrestling right now than Thunder Tits, I don't know what it is. All right. And Thunder Rosa bringing on the Thunder Tits chant, like, so golden. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. I don't have a lot of time. I don't. But the interview before their match, when Thunder Rosa and Tony, they used to be a tag team like 3 years ago called Thunderstorm. It was actually really good, and Tony turned her back on Thunder. But regardless, they get ready and they're gonna go 1, 2, 3, Thunderstorm. But instead, Tony says Thunder Tits, and like. That's so fucking good. They had a Thunder Tits freaking chant going. There was an impromptu sign created that said Thunder Tits. I believe, obviously, I need a T-shirt that says Thunder Tits. Yeah, which I need a Tony Storm T-shirt anyway. Like, I don't have any female wrestlers, and I think that's going to be. I need a Tony Storm. I need a Charlotte shirt, and like I just need shirts. So there you go. Megan Bain got the pin. She pinned Tony too, which I thought was really interesting. That actually helps Thunder as well. Thunder Rosa not taking the pin was good, but give me more Thunder in this because Thunder cuts such a good interview and such a good promo, and she deserves so much more. So, but yeah, Tony and Thunder were great. They're great together. Megan Bain taking the pinfall on Tony was weird to me, but this story could actually start getting better. All right. I haven't liked it. I don't think that Megan Bain is ready for this yet because she's only been in for a bit, but we're taking it. All right. We're taking it. We're going to see where it goes. And if Tony loses, I riot. There you go. Tony loses, I riot. She's the best thing going in professional wrestling today. Period. Done. Thunder Tits. All right, TNA, guys, I just want to do the results real quick. Ash by Elegance won, and I'm doing this. I told you guys the card last night. Ash by Elegance beat Tatum and Gigi to keep their belts. You had Octagon Jr., Laredo Kid, the Aztec Warriors tagging with Chavo Guerrero. Chavo got the freaking pin, baby. Gave a gory bomb. Also, huge frog splash, Eddie. All right, so that was huge. They actually beat First Class and Kaz, which was weird. Masha was over JCJ, not bad. Tessa came out, beat the shit out of her. EY beat Ace Austin. That was interference from the Northern Armory. And then you had Nick Nemeth over Leon Slater. Guys, also, the one thing I want to talk about, I want to spend some time on it this weekend. The Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana. It doesn't deserve a recap like this. It deserves 5 minutes at least. So there you go. Tonight, guys, SmackDown. I love a good contract signing. and we're going to get it. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins contract signing. I'm sure nothing exciting will happen, right? Also, no spoilers. Street Profits taking on Pretty Deadly for the belts. Yes, boy. And then LA Knight versus Braun Strowman for the U.S. belt. That kind of came out of nowhere. But, I mean, I know they talked about it last week a little bit. We'll see what happens. So, SmackDown tonight, 8 o'clock USA. We got Collision tomorrow. Be ready for that. Also, a lot of basketball tonight. And I'd be a fool if I didn't mention Next Level Championship Wrestling tomorrow night at Millage Road, American Legion Hall. Be there. Slow Burn will be there. You need to be there. Guys, thank you for listening.